What's up? What's up? So before we get into the Super Bowl talk and break down the Super Bowl, I think there's a lot of other things I want to talk about. First and foremost, some coaching hires. Just announced last night slash a little bit this morning, but it's been confirmed Mike LaFleur, the current offensive coordinator for the LA Rams, who is also the brother of Matt LaFleur, the head coach for the Packers, has taken the head coaching job for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals have been an organization of disarray. They've only really been good at small stints at time. It's uh, it's been known that the ownership is one of the more considered amongst the players one of the worst ownership in the league. And they have a quarterback issue. Kyler Murray going into his eighth year, and you still aren't sure if he's the guy. Clearly, his athletic ability is off the charts, but is his dedication there? Is his focus there? Is his overall game just skills there? Like, can he go out there and win you games? And we have not proven to see that. Now, I am a fan of Kyler Murray, but I'm also a believer that some things are just what they are. He has not been a playoff quarterback. He has not been a top 10 quarterback. Now, I think we all have to just accept that. That's what it is. So you're going into a situation where either you really have to make Kyler work for at least a year, or you're going to have to blow this whole thing up. It's a rough coaching job to take. Now, a coaching job I do not think was rough to take was the offense coordinator for the Seahawks. Most likely after the Super Bowl, will finalize a deal to become the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, Mr. Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, who won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos in 2013, I want to believe. He was also, no, yeah, it's 2013, might have been 2015. Yeah, I think it was the 2015 year. Yeah, because 2013 they went, but I think they went with John Fox. Either way, he won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. Yeah, it was 2015 because in 2014 he was the Ravens offensive coordinator, allowing Justin Forsett to have one of the best seasons of his career and getting us back in the playoffs a year after missing the playoffs after our Super Bowl victory. So he comes from a pretty good lineage. I think his coaching, he's coming from that Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, McVay kind of coaching tree. So I think this has really put him. He's been a top candidate for a while. You're going to get your number one pick, most likely Fernando Mendoza. You can work with that. You have Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. You have Max Crosby on the defense, whether you can move him to get compensated in picks and maybe more depth. But either way, you have something you can work with here. And I think he's coming from a really good system in Seattle where he has really seen what it takes to be a head coach in position and he can come in and do his own thing. And I think that this is the perfect job for him. I think if he was going to go anywhere and be a head coach, this was the perfect job. Now, a guy that I don't think was the perfect candidate, but I don't think this was the perfect job either. Todd Monken accepts the head coaching job of the Cleveland Browns. I heard he was going to go to New York. John, I guess we realized a little more about the issues behind the scenes. Monken wanted to be a head coach. People thought he didn't have as much interest. Clearly, that was false. Now, the Browns didn't have a lot of options either. Mike McDaniels recused himself. Clint Kubiak recused himself. You had a lot of other coaches that went back on their deal. Jesse Minter, all these guys realized it's not a great situation to walk into as a young coach. Monken's never been a head coach, but he's been around football a long time. He's won 2 national championships being a part of the Georgia Bulldogs staff. He's helped Lamar win an MVP. He was a part of one of those. I think he's got a lot of good qualities about him, and I think he does like Shedeur. You can tell by the presser, tell in the interview when, or I guess video, whatever you call it, when they met. It looked like it was a positive interaction, but at the end of the day, I think this is just another Cleveland Brown hire. No one wants to work here. You didn't get the first round of guys. You're not getting the second round of guys. You fired one of the top candidates, and guys like Sean McDermott didn't even interview for the job. That's not worth their time. So you settled on Monken. I don't think it's a bad hire, but like I said, you settled on him, and quite frankly, was anyone else offering him a job? But in return, it's not like you guys were the belle of the ball. They weren't looking for you, Cleveland. So I think this was a good hire for them, being in the situation they are, and hopefully he can do some things about their offense and maybe pair that offense with what I believe is a spectacular defense. Hopefully they don't lose their DC because that could really put them in a hole. Now,